Asked about why we pick some of the exercises we pick and how we're able to kind of continue to make PRs and in our one rep maxes and stuff. So just to kind of discuss how we pick those and how we program those. If you're following the true West Side template, our max effort days are Monday for lower body and Wednesday for upper body. So ideally what we do is, if I'm not programming out the week for an athlete, I'm just doing it myself. For lower body, it's going to be some sort of squat or deadlift variation, and for upper body, it's going to be some sort of pressing variation. So I'll pick what we commonly refer to as a primary barbell movement. So for upper body today, for example, on an upper body was strict shoulder press. And what I did to vary it up was I used the bow bar, okay, which is not only, it's just like it says, it's not a straight bar, it's bowed. Okay, so it kind of creates a little bit different force or feeling in your hands than a straight bar. But it very closely mimics the movement of pressing in a vertical plane. And what we have been doing, we've still been doing a variation of the primary barbell movement, but the main thing that we've switched up recently, and recently I mean within the last few months, is we have been, especially on upper body, we've been putting in a kind of secondary barbell movement, but we've made it an accessory movement. So for example, if we pressed vertically, which we did today, we would do a horizontal secondary barbell movement. So in this particular case, we used a bamboo bar or an earthquake bar that's straight across with bands and kettlebells. So, you know, it was very shaky and caused us to use a lot of our accessory movements, and we would bench that in the horizontal plane, say 4 reps. This time it was 4 sets of 25, and you would have to maintain the stability with that. And if you haven't done that, you would understand. So we've done the max in the horizontal, and then, or in the vertical, and then in the horizontal we did an accessory bench, which is way less weight, way more volume. And then we would, once we were done with that, we did about 20 minutes of accessory work for the individual muscle groups that we use for upper body, which for upper body for us is going to be triceps, upper back and lats, and shoulders or rear delts. And then we may even hit like a heavy ab or some sort of ab work. So that's what we would do for upper body. For lower body, it's a good morning, deadlift and or box squat or squat variation. We usually use the good morning to increase the volume. So our primary barbell movement would be a, you know, a sumo stance rack pull of some sort at some height on our shin. And then we establish a max there. And then our secondary barbell movement would be a good morning, type of good morning, whether it was closed stance, wide stance, bent leg, straight leg, whatever it may be. You could start at the bottom, go to the top, and the rep ended and started at the bottom, or you could unrack it, start at the top and go down and up. There's tons of variations, guys, that you could come up with. Put the bands on in such a way that it kind of pulls you out of position during the good morning, and then you just kind of get some volume on your body. So you could do, you know, 4 sets of 10 or whatever it may be. And then for those particular movements, you would do individually those particular muscle groups that complemented that. So for example, for lower body, it's glutes, hamstrings, low back. So one of the things we like to do, if you have access to the equipment, is if we have what we call transfer of exercise or carryover. So you want to push those primary barbell movements without spending a lot of time under the bar tearing yourself up. So you'll find ways of determining which exercises for you, and it's all through trial and error and the knowledge of your coach and the people that you work out with. Try to determine which exercises transfer over to your lifts the best. So on lower body, if you can push the volume in your reverse hyper either by weight and or reps, you'll find that your squat and deadlift will go up. Same with the inverse curl. As you can kind of strip weight off and kind of go more towards a Russian leg curl or a GHR, glute ham raise, you tend to see your squat go up without, and your deadlift go up without you having to do that actual lift. And then you incorporate higher volume, sled drags, etc., with a variety of different harnesses and loads, and maybe even distances depending on your sport. And then that's just to build the general base to kind of push your lifts, because as your lifts go up, your performance in your sport, we would hope, would go up. So if it's not going up, then you're using the wrong exercises. And if the old saying by Louis is, it does you no good to be strong at the wrong exercises or wrong lifts. So generally speaking, almost every sport, squats and deadlifts, all kinds of pressing, along with those accessory movements, as well as doing some of the sled drags and heavy carries and stuff like that, is going to translate to dominant field performance. As long as you have the skill at whatever level you're competing at, you're going to see a big carryover there. And then depending on what it is specifically, whether it's track, whether it's football, whether it's rugby, whatever it is, you would design those workouts and volumes, or special workouts or smaller workouts and volumes to those specific sports or that athlete's weaknesses. So one of the things we've done specifically on our max effort days, Monday and Wednesday, is we used to kind of warm up into it a little bit. So we do like a set of 10, load up a set of 5, load up a set of 3, maybe load up, maybe do 2 sets of 5. And so when I kind of started to research, because we kind of started to stagnate, instead of our PRs every week or every 3 or 4 months that we'd revisit that same movement, we would start to not see the jumps that we were normally seeing, or the improvements that we were normally seeing. So one of the things we did is we kind of went back and researched, and one of the things we immediately did, that we implemented, that seemed to pay off huge results, is we got to our max in the shortest number of reps possible. So with that being said, what we did is, in looking at Prilipin's chart, you would look at what is the maximum range for your reps at 90% plus, and it's between 4 and 10. 4 is minimal, 10's maximal, 7's optimal at 90% plus, and it's 1 to 2 reps per set. So what we did is we immediately warmed up really quick, 2, 3 sets, a set of 5, a set of 3, a set of 2, and then our first double. Okay, and then our first double was at 90% plus. You bang that, and then your very next lift, after you rested 2 to 5 minutes, about roughly, your very next lift would be your PR, your old PR at that particular lift. So strict shoulder press, bow bar, bam, you would hit that lift. So now you have, rep-wise, you have a double you just did, 1 single, that's 3 reps, and then you're going to get a shot at a PR. You tied a PR, you're going to break a PR, and I may give you 1 more rep, okay? Which means I give you another chance to break it even that much more. But we're not going to get all crazy and continually push way past and try to do 10 sets. 10 sets at 90% plus, you got to kind of be a special athlete to do that. So you want to do optimal minimal. So right now I've done 2 reps, single, single, single. That's 5. 7's optimal. You can kind of play around with that. But I usually, after somebody hits 90% plus, I give them 3 reps, just like in a meet. I give them 3 reps at pushing the heaviest amount of weight they could do for each of those 3 lifts. Same with the lower body. We do the same thing, and for whatever reason, every week, man, we're hitting PRs. Okay, so that's pretty much in a nutshell, rep scheme wise, how we shortened stuff up and got to try to hit our max in the shortest amount of reps possible. And then accessory wise, we really haven't changed a lot. We do just enough to vary the movements up, but we usually kind of decide that the day of, whether we're going to do dirty 30 or we're going to do dumbbell work for our triceps, or dirty 30 with the tricep easy curl bar, or we're going to do JM press, or we're going to do whatever it may be. We kind of, once we're done with our primary barbell movement, we kind of decide, hey man, what do you want to do? And it's usually based off of that person's weaknesses or what we haven't done in a while. And then we do that for upper body and lower body, but pretty much every day, the staples there: sled work, reverse hypers, back raises or back extensions, weighted, banded, dumbbells, everything you can name of, and we just try to keep it very conjugate-y, for lack of a better word. So Hopefully that wasn't too long-winded, but that's why we've been able to kind of keep hitting our PRs, and ultimately we're going to accommodate and adapt to that kind of training, and we're going to have to find another way and switch it up again, you know. So that's kind of the beauty of it and the fun of it. But that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions on why we picked the exercises we picked, or how we're able to continually PR at certain things, and what we do in season or out of season or whatever it may be, I can do some other videos on that. But otherwise, remember guys, be awesome. Peace.